Hi everyone, I'm Colleen with Awaken Catholic, and this is Awaken the Saint. Having a loving family is a great gift that's often taken for granted. Even if you're lucky enough to have family close by, you may not be lucky enough to get along with them. Saint Matilda of Ringleheim had a lot of trouble with her family. Matilda was born in 892 as the daughter of a count. From a very young age, she studied at a convent in Erfurt, and while her time there instilled great piety in her, she did not end up becoming a nun. With royal blood came royal obligation, and at 17, Matilda's parents arranged for her to be married to the heir of the Duke of Saxony, Henry the Fowler. That's Fowler with a W, by the way. 3 years later, Henry inherited his father's position, beginning Matilda's life as a duchess. She gave birth to her first son, Otto, that very year, the first of 5 children. However, Matilda didn't get to spend a great deal of time with her husband. Henry was busy with his own affairs, and after he became the German king in the year 919, he was even busier. While her husband was out waging war, Matilda managed the grand household as queen. Under her supervision, the royal court developed an air of reverence and intelligence, quite different from the average royal family. While he couldn't always be around at home, Henry still doted on Matilda in his own way. He gave her a rich inheritance, including a number of towns, to ensure that she would want for nothing after his death. Matilda, however, was not satisfied with just accruing income from these estates. In the next few years, she used her wealth to fund the construction of monasteries, turning several of the towns she had received into religious communities and providing for the less fortunate. Henry the Fowler died in 936, and Matilda's sons, Otto and Henry, clashed over who should inherit kingship. Matilda favored Henry, but even after raising an army, he ultimately failed to stop his brother, and Otto became king. Matilda didn't want to see her sons fighting, and she managed to convince Otto to pardon his brother. But their family, having been divided by this conflict, began to fall apart. In time, Henry and Otto both began to resent their mother, blaming her for carelessly spending royal income on charity to the poor and needy. They demanded that she return what their father had given her as recompense. Unable to oppose her own sons, she gave up most of her inheritance and retired to Saxony. It took 10 whole years before Matilda was able to reconcile with her children, but eventually they both realized they had blamed her unjustly and asked her for her forgiveness. She was able to return to her previous life, spending her remaining days among the religious communities she had created, until she died in 968 in the convent in Quedlinburg and was buried beside her husband. Unlike Matilda's situation, our families aren't likely to be divided by actual war. But when we do end up fighting, sometimes it's best to do things the way she did and avoid escalating the conflict. She chose humility instead. No matter how much an argument might feel like a battle, if we make it our goal to win at all costs, we can end up doing more harm than good. Saint Matilda, pray for us.
Thank you for tuning in to Awaken the Saint.